Hey guys, I hope you had a good Christmas. Today we're going to talk about Sarah and Abraham, and we're going to make something that'll help us make stars in our house. So it'll be really cool to shine somewhere, and you can see all the stars up on the wall and up on the ceiling. It's really cool. So that's what we're going to do today. So go ahead and listen to the story about Sarah and Abraham. A long time ago, God made a special promise to Abram. Look at all the stars. There are too many to count. You will have a big family with lots of children. There will be too many to count. How could this happen, thought Abram. I don't even have one child of my own. But Abram believed God and would do just as he had promised. And God told Abram that his family would be servants in another country for 400 years. Then God would send them to live in their own country that he would give them. God gave Abram a new name, Abraham. Abraham waited and waited. Abraham and his wife Sarah lived for a long time without any kids. They were both far too old to have kids. One hot day, about noon, 3 men came to talk to Abraham. As soon as Abraham saw them, he realized that they were not ordinary men and ran to meet them. Even at 99 years old, he was still very fit. He invited the 3 strangers to stop for a drink of water, wash their feet, and rest under a tree for a while. The 3 men sat down, and Abraham offered to bring them a meal. They agreed, and Abraham went to the nearby tent to find his wife Sarah. "Quick, make some bread," he told his wife. While Sarah was baking the bread, he ran out and found the best calf in his herd to prepare it for dinner. One of the men asked Abraham where his wife was. "In the tent," Abraham replied. It was true, and from inside the tent Sarah could hear everything that the 3 visitors were saying. "In 9 months' time," said the man, "your wife will have a son." Sarah heard this. She laughed to herself. She laughed in unbelief. At 90 years old, she knew she was far too old to have a baby. One of the visitors asked Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh?" and said, "Will I really have a child now that I am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid and came out of the tent. "I didn't laugh," she lied. "Yes, you did," the man insisted. Sarah realized it was a message from the Lord. She changed her mind and started trusting God. 9 months passed, and just as God had promised, Sarah gave birth to a baby boy. That was just the start of Abraham's descendants, just as God had promised. So Sarah and Abraham are really old when they had a kid, weren't they? Abraham was 99 and Sarah was 90. Do you know anyone that old that has a baby? Of course not. Nobody really has that without some help from God, right? And God hasn't done that in a long time. He has to have a reason to do that because nobody wants to be chasing a baby around when they're in their 90s. So why did God give Sarah and Abraham a baby when they were that old? Because that's what they wanted. Abraham didn't have anybody to pass his things on to. He didn't have anybody to go on with what the plan God had for him. God had a plan for him to start a lot of the traditions we have and our Jewish brothers and sisters have as well. Abraham started a lot of that. And God giving him children helped to pass those down. So what about the stars? Why did God talk about the stars? Well, Abraham wanted a lot of descendants, right? So that's why there was a lot of stars as one reason. But what else? The stars in the universe also show us the vastness and the greatness of everything around us. And the stars help us to remember that God made everything and that everything is part of God's great universe, great earth, great everything that He created. So just the amount of stars, the sheer vastness, and how many there are is part of why God used the stars to talk to Abraham. So for this craft, you need a flashlight. It can be like this, or it can be one of the long ones with a round end, any type of flashlight has a pretty big part where it lights up. You need some cardboard, you need some tape, you need scissors, and you need a pin. You're going to have to ask your parents for help with that part. So I'm going to trace around the part of the flashlight that lights up on my cardboard. After I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. You want to cut it a little bit bigger than what you traced, just to make sure there's not going to be any light poking out that you don't want to be poking out. Otherwise, you won't see your stars very well. So then, once you've done that, you're going to take your pin. You might want to ask for help. And you're going to poke holes into your piece of cardboard. What do you think these holes are going to show you? They're going to show you the stars. If you want, you could try to make a picture with your holes or with your stars. What is a picture in the stars called? That's right, it's called a constellation. So you want to poke a whole bunch of stars into your cardboard. How many stars are there in the sky? Are there just a few, or are there a lot? There's a lot, aren't there? So I think this is probably enough stars. I just want to make sure my sky gets lit up real bright. Do you see how many holes I poked in there? Quite a few, right? Once you've done that, you're going to tape your stars over the light up part of your flashlight. So you want to make sure you have the whole part that's going to light up covered. And you want to tape it down really well. You might kind of want to use a lot of tape so it doesn't move on you. So I'm going to put tape in 5 or 6 places. So there we go. Now we're taped onto my flashlight. So let's see if it works. Ooh, that's kind of cool, right? It looks like stars, doesn't it? So where would be a good idea to try this out to really see the stars? That's right, in a dark room. I can't really show you very well in a dark room. I tried. I can't get the lights to show up with the brightness of my computer screen to record it. So this is why you need to go try it on your own. It's really cool, but I can't tape it for you. So I hope you had fun making this craft about the stars. Every time you use this or look at the stars in the sky, I hope it helps you to remember how great God is and how God made everything, but most importantly, how God loves you and loves each and every one of us. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you back in Sunday school on Sunday. Bye!